Hola Madrid, this is welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. We have been keeping the specials common, and we have another very special episode planned for you guys. Before we get into it, I want to thank each and every single one of you, who has supported us from day one. Like I always wanted to, remind you guys, this was a passion project, started by a few lifelong fans without any expectation, really. But here we are, 1K. It is a small milestone, hopefully onwards and upwards. On that note, it is a very auspicious occasion, like what Jacob was mentioning, before we went live. We have a very special guest in Lara Karacan. I promised her I'm not gonna, mess up her name. She helped me out, spoiler alert, but Lara is the lead of content at TransferMarkt Turkey. Welcome to the show, Lara. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Pick your brain about Turkish football, Arda Guler, and anything under the sun regarding football, basically, because you mentioned that you have some strong affiliations towards some very big clubs that some we hate, some we like. But please introduce yourself, and it's an absolute pleasure again, Lara.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for this warm welcome. As you said before, I'm the lead of content for the Turkish area. We have many social platforms. We also have a website where we have a lot of player profiles and so on. And I'm, in short, responsible for the content we are sharing with our community on every social platform, what's in the news. And yes, to sum it up in short, that's what I do in my work.
Super cool. This is really cool stuff, The way I came to know about Lara is because of, her Arda Güler, article that I came across when, he was linked with us. But we'll get into that spicy article in a bit. There's some controversial things that I would like to, ask Lara about. But Lara, tell us a bit more about yourself, your background, how you got into TransferMarkt, etc.
So I'm not only Turkish, I'm half Turkish. I was born and raised in Austria, in Vienna. My mother is Austrian, my father is Turkish, but I have
fellow Alaba Stan as well, yeah?
Yeah, of course. So in Real Madrid, it's a Alaba Arda Güler connection. So I'm very proud, and I have to be a Madridista then, of course.
at least for the while, Arda and Alaba is still playing. Fair enough. We would completely accommodate, part-time fans. We would love it.
No, it's not a part.
I'm joking.
Yes, I was born and raised in Austria. Also, I went to school there, but I always had a special connection to Turkey and Turkish football. My summertime, I spent a lot of time in Istanbul with my family, and I also get that fan culture of the football clubs. And I was very interested in the football games and in the clubs and in the Super League since I was 11, or in my childhood, 11 years old. I was a user in TransferMarkt. I was very young at that time. And then I thought in my master's, okay, what will I do in my future? What is my passion?
We have all been there.
Yeah, we have all been there, and it's a difficult decision, to be honest. And you have to know that I studied political science and international development, so it's not really a football-oriented study, but it was also my passion, and I saw that TransferMarkt had an internship, and I thought, okay. I applied to that, and for my luck, or luckily, they decided that they want to have me for an internship, and then they were so so happy about my work that they signed me in football language for another time. And then I went to Hamburg, where the headquarters is. And now I'm for 2 years in Hamburg, and I'm at TransferMarkt, and I love my job. I love every day of it, and because I made my passion to my living, to be honest. And
That's truly an amazing position to be in, like because we know what it feels like, at least to a certain extent. But Lara, like, how long have you been working for Transfer Market, and when did you become lead of content?
so I work for 2 years, 2.5 years now for
Hmm.
TransferMarkt, and you have to know I started as a internship as a content creator.
Oh,
So in 2 years, my development was very fast, as my boss said to me, and he gave me the place to reach the next level for me and for the area, and I'm proud of it that I can handle it, to be honest. It's a big responsibility to manage this Turkish community, to be honest. But, but I love, as I said before, I love every day of my working days, and I hope that we can reach much more people and connect people to Turkish football and to be passionate about it, like me, as I was since I was at my childhood. So it's
mm,
very personal thing, to be honest. Yeah, it's not only my
100%.
job; it's my passion.
100%. My next question is basically, Lara, we got to know that you have also worked for Bayern as well in the past. Um, so, like, let's say if we compare and contrast, the various audiences and the way football fan culture works in both Germany and Turkey. What do you think are the key differences when you create content for two demographics?
Yeah, I don't focus so much on the demographic, to be honest. I
Hmm.
think the most different thing is when you work for a club and you're a
Hmm.
fan, or you only have to make content for one club, and now at TransferMarkt for a whole league or for a whole football community all over the
Hmm.
world. And that's the huge difference between the demographic. Of course, Bayern Munich is in Germany. The German fans are more, I think, more quiet. Not quiet. They're also
They're
passionate, but not that
they're
much.
bored of winning the leagues, Lara.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
bored.
simple.
They know
It's
that
simple.
already. And the Turks are, as I said before, they're very passionate and they're very interactive. And the community is really interactive, not only on the Turkish clubs, also at when now Arda Güler is moving to Real Madrid, then they're also there. And I think Real Madrid also gained a lot of people, Turkish people, and I think that's the difference, I would say, between these two jobs I had.
Lara, when you actually were working with Bayern Munich, I would think that you were kind of young, just starting
Yeah,
out.
I was very
And
young.
I've noticed that some of these big accounts, sometimes these admins, they just forget to switch accounts and then they go and like random stuff and put out random tweets. Has that ever happened to you, or have you ever noticed someone doing that?
Yes, it's my biggest concern at that time. To be honest, I was logged in the Bayern Munich Instagram account. In my time, it was 25 million followers or something like that, and I always check 2, 3 times if I'm at the right account. So yes, I have a personal Instagram account, but to be fair, I'm not posting every day or be super active in my personal account. So it's, I think it was good for me to be not that active on my personal account. So there was no harm for Bayern Munich in that case.
You didn't have to put her on the spot, Jacob. That was a low blow. You know, that was a low blow. Right. Jacob had this other question that he prepared for us. The differences between the standards in the Turkish league and the top five leagues. Um, in your experience working, on both sides, like, is it just the pace and the technicality?
Yes, I would not only, but I think these are the two main things I would point it out, to be honest. The pace, the top five leagues are really fast, and that's also the reason why I'm a little bit more pessimistic about Arda Güler at Real Madrid, to be honest. And also, the pace is one thing that's okay, I guess, in the Turkish league, but the tactical abilities in the Turkish league is really very low. They are coming more from the passion, more from the one-to-one, or more with their physical appearances, and not so with the tactical, like Calcio in the Serie A or something like that. So yes, I would say these two things are the most important differences between the leagues.
We will get into the Arda conversation in a bit. We would love to hear a different perspective, because the previous special we did with Arda, with Fateh Chala, he had some very positive things to say. So this is kind of a balancing out act, and I'm pretty sure Lara is going to be a brilliant villain for us tonight. But a few other questions regarding your work at Transfer Market. Uh, the like, how do you guys measure stats? Like, how does technology help in doing it? And like, are there stats, are there teams that manually note stats on a day-to-day basis that you know about?
Yeah, I mean it's
So
not just the basic stats, right? Like you can even see like how many play headers that a player win for each single
Mm,
match, and it's tracked for over a season, and then it's like mad to think that someone's like noting down all of these things.
I would be bored.
So we have two things in TransferMarkt. The one is, yes, we have many data administrators, to be honest, who transfers one. For example, the Arda Güler transfer from Fenerbahce to Real Madrid, I made it manually, so in the system. So we haven't got any computer who knows, okay, he's
There's a
moving.
supercomputer like in Resident Evil, yeah. So okay, fair
So
enough, fair enough.
we are very fortunate that we have a lot of people who are doing this and support TransferMarkt and put in the datas. But also when we look at goals or assists or these kind of things, that would be too much. So there we have the data from Opta, as you maybe might know, yes. And then these kind of things are automatically. But if we see the profiles of the players and the transfers from A to B, then it's a completely manually thing to do.
That's interesting. Leading up to my next question, like, have you worked with scouts with the help of these stats? Like, how much have you delved into that territory in football?
So not really with scouts. We have a lot of colleagues who are more into that kind of things. To be honest, it's not the main thing I do at my work.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said before, we have a super good data administrator in Turkey, Mert his name, and he's doing very well to connect with scouts, with agents, with players or something like that. He writes a lot of players or agents or some people in the community who reach to have these data for us, and so that's his main job to do. Yes, so I can say we have these connections, but to be honest, not me as a person. Now I have other colleagues who do their job very well in that case.
100%.
So if I get it right, many other companies are relying to our data. They not say it that often, to be honest, but we know that they have the data from our side when we have to think about the Turkish community. As you know, maybe Wikipedia, the hugest encyclopedia in the world, isn't allowed in Turkey. So the main sources to get football stats is our site, our website. So yes, I would say they all took the the stats and co from our website. But of course, that's how I imagine, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure if we press Lara a bit more, we can unravel some conspiracies regarding the betting scene. But I'm not gonna do it. Lara needs to be super incognito regarding all that. But betting and scouting stats and all that, like it's mad. How people go to any extent to make money of this game, because we at home watch it for the passion, we watch it for the drama, but some people have entirely different priorities, which I can't respect, in all honesty.
Come on,
Right.
Sunit, you basically alienated a lot of our viewers, probably, just saying that.
Really? Or are we really alienating our future sponsors, like Bet365 or somebody like that? Because, man, I'm against betting. I don't understand why you would bet on something that is completely out of your control. But it is what it is, Jacob. Like if you're gonna, like say something positive regarding this, people are gonna, come for our throats. And we just got to keep it at a buck, betting companies and whatever they do. It's scandalous. But let's dive deep into Arda. 20 minutes into the stream. If you haven't liked it already, please do hit the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Road to 2K is officially on. Lara, this affection for Real Madrid, yeah, we are going to reveal it in its full glory right about now. So, can you give us a bit of a background about why you have a lean towards the white side of Spain?
So can you repeat that again?
Why do you have an affection towards Madrid, basically?
To Real Madrid?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's also because I'm a little, okay, that it's now a little bit stereotyping, but also because of Cristiano Ronaldo, to be honest. And I love the era. I loved the era he was doing with the other guys at these times. And so I was very I love to watch Ronaldo and the other ones, and also Özil. He's German, but also he's a little bit of Turkish, so he also played there. And I think for the Turkish people, a club gets very interesting and different when a player from your nationality. Also, David Alaba, if we can mention him, when a player plays for a big club like Real Madrid. So yes, I think.
You're pretty diverse, just like us, like I grew up in two different countries, and like I'm from India, so like I can understand where you're coming from. It's kind of similar. But tell us more about the clubs that you support locally, and yeah, give us your origin story basically, supporting football?
Supporting football, yeah, that's a very, very interesting story. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know why I love football and how I was connecting to that. I only know that my mom said to me that I always loved playing with the ball. So as a young children, at I don't know 3 years old, I loved to play football. And then when you love something, you get also interesting in the game. And I think the game had made me a passion and also a little bit a reason for life. And as I said before, at 11 years old, I was a user at TransferMarkt, and I also switched between Football Manager and TransferMarkt and the latest transfer news. So I don't know where it comes from, to be honest, because my family isn't that into football. I think I played by myself, maybe there, and then you
Hmm.
watch the games, and then I still have a group of my friends who watched the games like Champions League in my childhood, and then I think it was more than a passion than my job, but I don't know where it comes from, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's interesting that you used to spend some time on Football Manager and stuff. So just Football Manager, yeah, like no love for FIFA.
FIFA, yeah. It was, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that. So, yes, it was FIFA Manager, yes. But I don't want to, yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you had
It was
said
a long
yes, yeah, if you had said yes to playing FIFA, I'm pretty sure Sunil would have invited you to a game tomorrow.
No. Like I can't get slandered for being, a FIFA fanatic. It's an okay game. It's not the perfect representation of football, but it scratches my itch, for the game. But Lara, you're a fan yourself, yeah. And you're a massive supporter of Fenerbahce, and you told me that you have had a special uh, love for Arda Guler and what kind of talents he possessed, like over the span of like almost 2 years at Fener. Um, what were your first thoughts when he broke onto the scene? Like we all know how, like he wasn't given much of an opportunity by various coaches. Jorge Jesus was actually, not too keen on him and whatnot. There was some public pressure to play him. What were your thoughts about all that drama?
To be honest, at the beginning, I thought another one, another
Mm.
Turkish Messi. As we had a lot of them, to be honest. We had a
Can
lot
you
of
name some of them? Because I'm struggling to remember. My memory is bad. I'll tell you that
maybe the
straight up.
latest one was Abdülkadir Ömür, who is playing for Trabzonspor. Also, Manchester City wanted to sign him, and now he is still playing there, and he's playing that good. Or I don't know, Emre Demir. He was also
I don't
transferred
know.
to Barcelona. Now he's back at the Super League at Fenerbahce. So we had a lot of them. We had really a lot of them. Or to be back at Fenerbahce, also Recep Nias, who was also the next Messi, the next Turkish Messi. But all of them, they couldn't get the most of their potential. And to be honest, Arda Güler was also hyped at the beginning.
Mm.
Signed a professional contract, I guess, with 16. And everyone at that time, this is the next one, and this is the next Messi. And I thought, oh no, not again, not again. This kind of story, to be honest. But he convinced me all of his steps otherwise, to be honest.
Mm. Mm.
After his first debut, I guess, okay, good potential, but we have to wait.
Mm.
And after the next the next steps, that means the next matches, okay, he's playing more than 10, 20 minutes, and I thought, and the fans were asking, play him 90 minutes and do it every game. And you know, the Turkish community gets a lot of, they do a lot of pressure of the player. And I always thought, oh, he's 16, 17, please calm down. He's a kid, please be calm. And I thought he wouldn't get this pressure as the other ones. So, and then okay, I saw his talent, that was good, but it was not this wow effect. Then in one season ago, at the beginning, he was after Özil's transfer to Başakşehir, he gets the number 10. So everyone was enthusiastic. He is the next Alex de Souza, the club leader, the biggest one, I think. And I thought, oh no, this is too much pressure for a 17 years old. Why you gave him the number 10? But again, he convinced me otherwise. So in the first half, he wasn't that playing well, but he played well, but not that much. Always 20 minutes, George Jesus subbed him in, and the fans would scream, Arda, Arda, Arda. Really, they did a lot of pressure, and I always thought, no, he's so young, please, don't do it. But in the second half of the season, he became more playtime, and he showed that he can stand this pressure. Also, the next step, that he was called in the national team, in the Turkish national team. There also I think, oh, it's too early, don't do this. But he did that, and now I'm also saying, no, Real Madrid, too early. Maybe he will convince me again otherwise. So I don't know. So I'm more pessimistic in that case, because the last Turkish menses, the Turkish talents were all again in the Super League now. So, but I saw that he's different from the others. He's much calmer. He's so humble. He's not that passionate. Don't get me wrong, he's passionate, but he's not so emotional. He's very clear.
That's a key trait. That's a key trait of a lot of number 10s, isn't it, Lara? Like Ozil, for instance, you know.
Yes, in general, but for Turkish player, I haven't seen that before.
They're a lot more passionate, yeah.
Yeah, they are more emotional, more not so focused on the game. They're looking for other conflicts, and you know the Turkish game, it's more conflicts are there, more behind the scenes. I mean, it's not only the game, it's also the other things are important, but he's so focused on the game, and he's not like the other Turkish player that I was very surprised that he always made the next steps. And I think that is his biggest quality, to be honest, not his technique or his potential. Or we have a lot from him.
It's what's up here. Like honestly, when we were discussing Arda Güler for the first time, I got to put my hands up and I got to apologize again that I wasn't really aware of a guy like Arda Güler up until a month ago. I'm not much on Twitter. I don't go into that cesspool much. So probably why I didn't really know about Arda Güler. But from what I've seen about Arda Güler, he seems to be a bit vocal. I don't know if you can exactly call that leadership, but from some of the compilations, it seems like he shouts at people. Sometimes during games to maybe make the right move. Getting frustrated at not receiving the ball early, etc. But I used to tell the panel and the boys and the listeners that if Juni Karafat and Real Madrid actually pursued Arda Güler, it would be for his mentality, because every other 18-year-old, 16-year-old at the top level in most leagues would be pretty decent on the ball, would have decent technique. But Arda Güler, I think, like you said, his USP would have been how he carries himself. And Fatih Chala, even in the previous episode, like he reminded us, like about how Turkish footballers, they have a reputation for having a bit wild of a off the field persona, like they are into partying, nightlife and whatnot. But Arda Güler was super humble and grounded all the time. But we covered like extensively about what kind of a person Arda Güler is. But
I mean,
tonight's episode, yeah,
Sunil, like
go on, Jake.
just with regards to how mature of a player he is on the pitch, I just want to like ask Lara about this. So, have you seen any bits of Vinicius? So, if you see him getting mowed down by all of these defenders who are very physical in La Liga, you see him complain a lot, complain to the referee. Sometimes he gets really worked up and he tries to get yellow cards. I can imagine it's going to be very similar for Arda Güler as well, especially in the Turkish league, where the defenders like to leave their foot in, foul a lot more technical players. So, how does Arda Güler generally react to this? Does he just stay silent, or does he try to take up conflicts with the defenders, like you mentioned?
So I said before, also what I said before, he's very focused on the game. Of course, he don't like to be fouled or something like that. No player wants that. But he's not that emotional. He's of course he's to be honest, he was fouled. So, but he's not focused on the player who did the foul. He's more focused on, oh no, I could get a chance or make a pass or these kind of thing. I don't know what what it's in his mind, to be honest,
Mhm.
but this is the feeling I have from him. He's so focused in the game that it doesn't matter if um,
Yeah.
if there's a foul or which player made the foul. So I don't know if that will change in La Liga. Maybe there are more fouls, I don't know. But we have to keep in mind the Super League is also very robust and very physical.
Very physical. Mm.
Very physical. So maybe La Liga, when I think La Liga is the best option for him because the technical aspects are more important than the physical.
They are more highlighted in La Liga compared to the Premier League, where it's pace and power, um, mostly that rules. Um, yeah, so like I was saying earlier, tonight, like we would like to pick your brain about how tactically how would he fit Carlo's side, what kind of attributes he would bring onto the pitch. So let's start with your article, Lara. Now is the time. So you were very pessimistic about his desire to go to Madrid. You thought Barcelona would be a better fit, player profile wise. I keenly remember you mentioning like Barcelona fits agile players a lot more. I've seen graphs, data maps that people were making up comparing him to Rafinha, which is absolutely ludicrous because Rafinha is an established winger, has played at the top level, has played for Leeds in the Premier League. Is like what 28 something, 27. I don't know how these Twitter warriors, get up on with that kind of comparisons. I'm not for it, but tell us more about why you thought he wasn't exactly a right fit for us.
To be honest, in the first aspect, the formation, I think Ancelotti is playing a lot 4-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he has played a lot, the most of the time, also as a right wing in Fenerbahce. But the first thing I thought is, okay, you have on your left side Vinicius, and then you had also Rodrigo. So they are very similar in their playing. But Arda Güler isn't that kind of player. He is a classical playmaker. And to be honest, he didn't get these times as a playmaker, not even in Fenerbahce, because as we all know, the playmaker position isn't
It's
that
kind of extinct at this point.
right, and it's not that popular because when you are a playmaker, the whole game has
Flows through you.
of course, yes. And when he's really playing as a right winger and Real Madrid will do him as an option as a right winger, he is not fast. And that's also the reason why for me it's too early for the top 5 leagues, because when I imagine, okay, you have fullbacks who are very strong, very fast, and Arda Güler isn't is not both of these aspects.
It's not physical, it's not rapid. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. And he would do also what he did at Fenerbahce. He's more at the half spaces, so more at his positions as a playmaker. And then he cut in and then do the crossings or the shoots in that kind of area. But when you have to keep in mind how Vinicius act and how Ancelotti, in my opinion, wants to do the same things at the other side, then Arda Güler is not the man for your formation. So that's the reason, the first reason, to be honest, why I'm so pessimistic about it, because when you want to play Arda Güler with his full strength, then you have to change your formation. And I don't know if Ancelotti will do that for an 18-year-old player.
But seems like, the man is teaching him Spanish. He is so impressed by him that, he is almost admitting that, like there might be a change in formation, which is very unlike Carlo, who is much more of a traditionalist. He is one from the school of, the guys like Arrigo Sacchi, the famous Milan sides, sticking to a 4-3-3, which is fluid and solid, can offer a balance between being defensive and offensive. But do you think that his statements are just hyperbole and just PR stuff, where he mentions there might be a real chance, we are going to be playing with a formation that has 4 midfielders?
I think when you have a new arrival, you always have to argument why you are transfer these players. So, of course, he has to say how
the right things.
The right thing, how we could fit. At the end, also the coach is saying, okay, I want that player or I don't want that player. So of course he has to give the journalists and the PR options how he want to give Arda much time to play. But when I keep in mind that his favorite formation is these 4-3-3, I don't know if this is really realistic. And we also don't know what is after Ancelotti. Ancelotti will stay 1 year now, 1 season.
Yeah.
And then you don't know.
Might be Zizou, might be Xabi Alonso. You never know.
We don't know. So maybe then the formation will change. To be honest, Arda Güler, as he said also in the press conference, it doesn't matter where he is playing. He wants to play. But as I said before, he's a playmaker, and I don't know if Real Madrid will give him this opportunity to give this playmaker potential in their system.
I mean,
but at the other hand, to be more optimistic, I was very pessimistic, to be honest. So I can say now more. The other option is that, okay, you have a 4-3-3, but when you want to be more flexible, also throughout the game, when Ancelotti says, okay, we have to change our system, we have Arda, maybe he's also a very creative player, Arda Güler. So to have more solutions in your squad, it's always a good option for a coach. I don't think that he has these kind of options now. Okay, Brahim Diaz, I think he's also in that playmaker.
Yes, somewhat similar player profile wise, but
yes. but we also don't know. He was now in Milan. Is he ready for Real Madrid? We don't know.
Nah, I don't think so. I used to watch him very keenly at Milan. He's good. He has his days. He has his days. He's not an average player. He's very much above average. Brahim Diaz has some very significant key qualities that he can't always showcase. It gets a bit tough when he's up against some guys who is like twice his size. It's an unfair tussle. But Jacob, you were gonna ask Lara some questions.
I mean, yeah. So we as Real Madrid, we knew that we're probably going to play the 4-3-3. We have a shortage of wingers, but we have an abundance of midfielders. Lara, why do you think Real Madrid actually went to and approached Arda Güler for the transfer? Was it just to get one up over Barcelona, or is that like a tactical genius move in here?
We should probably bring up her article to provide a bit more insight.
So, of course, none of the members of Real Madrid would admit that. So, but I think it was also an aspect that Barcelona was ready for signing him. But Real Madrid, as I also said in the article, they always want to sign the best players. And to be honest, Arda Güler is now, from his potential, could be the best Turkish player ever. And we know Real Madrid is also changing their transfer system. 10 years ago, they were signing Bale, Ronaldo for I don't know which money. But now he knows, okay, and they had the oldest average of 30 years old when they won the Champions League. They knew, okay, we need a new generation. Now they also signed Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and all of these. And also Arda Güler fits in that. He's also young with a huge potential, and also 1-2 years later, Kroos or Modric maybe retire, and then after he learned from these kind of players, he could make the next step and be a legend for Real Madrid. I wish, but I don't know. But
you can't. No, sorry, Lara. But when he actually claims he wants to be a legend himself, you can't but not you can't resist admiring that kind of a statement, because it's not so easy to say that.
Of course not. But to be honest, when you can stand the pressure of millions of Fenerbahce Turkish fans, then you can stand also this argument, or to go behind that, or to have this responsibility. As I said before, he's so focused to the game that it doesn't matter which partying or something like that. He really wants to be, when he says something, then he really mean that. And he really want to work to be that. It's not, yeah, I want to be a legend. He really, when he says something, then it's 100% that he's focused on that. And he also said, and that was very, very old for his age, he said, I want to be an idol for other Turkish players, other young players. He's 18 and he says something like that. I was so stunned about that.
we didn't talk like that when we were 18, Lara, right? It takes something special for these young players to actually speak out like that. But we mustn't forget that Real Madrid actually, they made a calculated risk, because in this transfer landscape, you can't really splash out the cash and expect things to stick. Like in that scenario, scenario, like Arda Güler was a relatively inexpensive risk, where you could buy him for like 70, 20 odd million, and probably in the future, like you could sell him on for a small profit. You never know, if things doesn't really work out. But um, I was very optimistic, initial signs because of my lack of knowledge, obviously, about the Turkish league. I don't watch it regularly, so I can't really get a feeling. I'm not really a tactico. There are so many Twitter, YouTube tacticos out there, who analyze the game better than, Johan Cruyff. But I'm not one of them. Like for me, the eye test is everything. How I view a player might be completely different to someone else. It's completely acceptable. But like there's literally YouTubers out there making a living out of making compilations claiming that Arda Güler is going to be a complete failure. I don't understand it. Jacob actually sent me a link, I think last week. I'm actually questioning these guys' motives. Like, what do they earn by, trash talking someone who's 18? Questioning his, ability at such a raw age is just idiocy, in my opinion. But some of the other stuff that I would like to, ask you about. Jacob has, actually given me so much info on this. Like, when he plays more centrally, apparently the game passes him by. He does not contribute a lot and takes a lot less touches. So any hopes of him molding into an eight is surely gone? Or do you think playing with Modric, Cruz, playing at the biggest club, the best club in the world, might mold him into a multifaceted midfielder?
Of course. I think when you have Modric or Kroos as a colleague or a playmate, then you can learn a lot from them. And I think when he's, as I said before, he's so focused and he loves playing football, and he always done that. As I said before, Alex de Souza was the club legend. We saw a picture where he, at 15 or 13 years old, where he read his biography. So Arda Güler is a player who adopt or copies things he think it is useful for his game. And that's also for me very difficult to categorize him. Okay, he is like Özil, or he is like Messi, or he is like I don't know where, because he has so many aspects of his game from so many players that I can imagine that he will also learn a lot within one season from Modric and Kroos. So I think he will have super teachers with him, and I think he will also copies a lot from them. The aspects he thinks his game would improve for Real Madrid. Yes, so I think he will learn a lot from them.
Yeah, I mean,
Two things. Yeah,
at this point, it's like almost unfair to call Cruz and Modric just teachers, because the Spanish media they call Modric as the father figure and Toni Kroos as the cool uncle.
In Turkish media, Modric was called Modric Abi. Abi is the bigger brother, the older brother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They were joking about that already. So yes.
That's nice. That's actually nice. They're not just good players, legends. They are basically reference points at this stage in their careers. Um, like my next question was like, so Arda Güler, like is it really an issue, like because I'm going back to the point where you stated you can't really classify him as a right winger or a midfielder or a number 10. Like he might be leaning towards the number 10, but we have had this discussion so many times on this podcast where in some cases, like I was joking last week that if it is our player and he plays multiple positions, we would call him, oh, he is he's a jack of all trades as a positive. But someone may argue if you can't nail down one single position to excel in, you're just not that good enough. Like, would you think Arda Güler would transition through that tough phase in his Real Madrid career, Lara?
I wouldn't see that so pessimistic, to be honest. He's
Mhm.
18 years old. He's very young. Also, which position he didn't play a lot is the position like Modric or Kroos had. They are not really playmaker. They're central midfielder. So
Mhm.
maybe I can also imagine, okay, maybe this position would suit him the best. I don't know. So I also thought, okay, his right winger aspects aren't that good, but there he also shown his talent. So I'm more optimistic in that because you can compare that with Valverde, right? He played also at fullback.
So many examples. So many examples. Like Fede Valverde, James Rodriguez, who was a classic number 10, had to play out wide
Yes.
at right wing.
I
Like,
think Arda is also that kind of player, to be honest. And I think Valverde is also a crucial part of a Real Madrid squad, to be honest, because when you keep him there or there, he will bring that what you want. Also, as I seen that the previous season at Camavinga, he also played left back and he also
mhm.
played well. So if you are young and Arda Güler is young, then I think he can also reach or make a lot of the next steps in other positions. Why not? So I think that's more positive aspect than negative one.
I'm so much more happier, hearing all this from you because, like I said again, the article, it painted a
Well,
very
very
grim
pessimistic,
picture.
right?
Very, very grim picture. I was like, Lara has an agenda, but fortunately, it's cleared. The scandalous stuff has found some clarity. Fortunately, but
To be honest, I'm a person who is a little bit too critical sometimes, and
mm,
because I love details. I love the little things which make a huge difference. And but I also know me when I'm too enthusiastic about things. And to be honest, Arda
mhm.
Güler at Real Madrid, that was the best transfer I've for the last 10 years, maybe what I saw, right? But to defend myself or to protect myself, I'm more pessimistic to be not disappointed at the end. Because as I said before, we had a lot
it's
of
it's it's
here with
it's
Luis.
basically a defensive coping mechanism, you could say. Yeah, Lara.
Could be, yes. As I said before, Arda Güler was always, it's too early, but he proved me otherwise. So
Yeah, I mean,
you will
Fair
not.
enough.
only time will tell. But then, us relevant fans, it's almost too late for us. We even made compilations of his training videos and his training golazos, and we have so much hope for him right now. And I'm pretty sure, even if the performance drops maybe a bit in a certain match, the fans are going to be disappointed for sure.
And also these videos, I don't know, every day one video from Arda Güler and one pick and one, I don't know, from Arda Güler. Everyone is hyped, but of course, you do the content only in positive things. We don't know
Obviously.
how many times he failed the pass or didn't shoot in the goal.
But
So
it's the right thing to do. He's 18, guys. Wake up. He's 18.
that's true.
Like you can't hold him to the same standards of his peers. And we should also remember, like, most of the internationals are not back yet at training. So many guys are. Kamavinga is going to be back. He's not going to let him do his silky step overs. Like, he's going to go in two-footed. So it's gonna get a little more, crunchier in the coming weeks. Another big thing that I noted, against Jacob sent me this again, against bigger teams where he gets double teamed in the Turkish league, his ratings and performances apparently, goes down. Do you think that'll be a problem with us, Lara, or do you think that the abundance of creative talent, superstars in a lineup basically takes away that spotlight from Arda and maybe it helps him excel?
I don't know. This is a question maybe more for you. I don't know the Real Madrid
From an
fans.
outsider.
From the outsider, from a Turkish perspective, everyone will focus on him, only on him. So it doesn't matter if there is a Kroos playing, Modric playing, Vinicius playing, or the other ones. Everyone will focus on him, and the pressure will be high. But I think the pressure will be not that high in the stadium, and I think that is the aspect where he can fulfill his potential even more, because when you do in Turkish stadium, especially from the big four, when you haven't got a good game, then they're booing. It doesn't matter. One match you are the hero, and one match you are the baddest player on earth. So it is really extreme in these kind of emotions, and I think the environment in Real Madrid and in the stadium will be different for him, and I think more positive than in Turkey. So I see that more
We are
positive.
we are not that nice. Lara, I'll reiterate that because yeah, the fans at the stadium, because if things go bad, they'll be okay the first time, the second time, but the third time, no chance. He won't be spared. So
Also focus on players or at the team as a whole.
players,
Yeah,
how
I
how
mean,
Gareth Bale got singled out.
not just Gareth
Okay,
Bale. I mean,
they
Gareth Bale
want
is might be a polarizing figure, but even Karim
Polarizing
Benzema,
figure.
even
Karim
Cristiano got
Benzema.
booed.
So many greats have gotten the white handkerchief treatment, and Arda Güler is just coming up. I'm pretty sure people would have shown him footage of that happening, so he knows like with us the magnifying glasses are like tripled, quadrupled. It's always scrutiny, and you're just one game away from getting the heat. It's always
Mhm.
yeah, pretty
But
uh it,
but
go on,
are
Laura.
the expectations on Arda Güler as a Real Madrid fan so high? I I think he's, and I think, or from my perspective, for Bellingham it's higher, isn't it? As
I'm,
a
I'm I'm not I'm not saying he'll be having that pressure from the first season. Kamavinga didn't have any kind of pressure in the first season.
mm,
That's why he thrived. I think Arda Güler will be afforded the same affection, but from the second year, I think it'll be a different case. After your completed one season,
mm.
the honeymoon phase is basically over, and pressure kicks in much better, I think. But yeah, Jacob, any more questions that we can pick Lara on, or
Yeah, I mean, that's very curious, right? You just said maybe next season he's going to be put under the pressure. That's because we as Real Madrid fans, we are very spoiled by these young talents who are coming in. Even doesn't matter if they're 17 or 18. As soon as they turn 19 or 20, we expect them to like turn performances at a Ballon d'Or level. That those are the kind of standards here, and yeah, it's
But
going to be hard for
but
him.
but also as Vinicius and Rodrigo was that they had a much higher transfer fee, right?
yeah.
And they Vinicius didn't perform in his first season like it was the previous one, right?
I gave up on him. I'll be honest.
So maybe, and you know that actually from these kind of players, maybe after 1 2 years the players will have that level, but it takes time, as for every other young player too. So maybe it would be cool if that also would go with Arda Güler, to be honest, because Vinicius 2 years or 3 years, how long did he take to be on that level?
3.5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a big acclimatization process, this whole move. It's not just about Arda, it's about his entourage, like how they settle in, how much they feel at home. Because like most players, when some things don't work out, especially with regards to a transfer, uh, most of the time it's what happens off the pitch that affects the player more than what's happening on the pitch. But we have a reputation for keeping our players super focused, super grounded at all times. I think we have a recipe here that Florentino Perez, Johnny Calafat, and the board has been building for quite some time. Sign young players, mold them young, instill like top tier mentality into them from an early age. I think it seems to be the magic trick, at least to compete with the oil clubs, unfortunately. But Lara, it's been an absolute pleasure. In my humble opinion, this has been one of the best episodes we have ever done, over the span of 2 years. Like I said, I didn't expect such a friendly conversation. To be honest, the first time we talked on Twitter. But yeah, people, Lara is very active on Twitter, not so active on Instagram. Go give her a follow. Go check out her articles on TransferMarkt. She has some brilliant articles out there that you can read from. Stay away from the Arda Güler one though. It might be a little bit controversial, but still, it's a fine piece of insight into what Arda Güler can bring to the Bernabeu. Also, friendly reminder to all our listeners on audio platforms, we are over 800 followers. If you haven't clicked follow on Spotify yet, please do that. Also, don't forget to leave us a review. We have 800 followers and we just have 35 reviews. That's a very bad ratio. You guys should get it up ASAP. Again, super humbled by all the love. 1K was a dream. So on the road to 2K, don't forget to support our partners, Real Madrid Committee on Instagram. They run a brilliant fan page. We have so much more content coming along, especially with the preseason starting in like 5-6 days. Mbappe, lingering. You never know what he's going to do next. So, we are going to be touching base very soon this week. Hopefully, we'll have Lara's opinion as well sometime in the future regarding some interesting transfers and whatnot. I hope she has the time to actually feature on the podcast again. Yeah, until next time, people. Jacob, anything to add?
Yeah, we do have a comment, actually a question for Lara by Michael
Oh,
Carmichael.
no.
So he asks, do you, Lara, have any thoughts on specific players Real Madrid should go for, or if Madrid should even go for any other players this summer? So it's basically like, do you have any advice for Madrid going forward?
So you mentioned it.
Burak Yilmaz would be her first recommendation, no?
Which one?
Burak Yilmaz, no?
No, he's retired. He retired. It's over.
He's retired. Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh my God. Okay. Time flies. Time flies.
Not a Turkish player, as maybe the all of Real or the Madridistas are waiting for Mbappe, right?
100%.
I think that would be a perfect fit. And now Benzema is in Saudi Arabia. I would love to see him in Madrid, to be honest. I don't know if they can agree with PSG this year, because PSG want 170 million euros in that spaces with 1 year contract. So I think it will be a difficult negotiation, but I think when not this season, then 2024 he will wear the white shirt. I hope that, but I hope it will be also will be this transfer window, to be honest, because now there's no Benzema. He would play. So I think I would love to see him in Real Madrid.
Waiting another year is basically us giving up on success. For me, that's basically season over before a ball has been kicked for me, because without a recognized striker and Joselu, it's the biggest club in the world. We are not Manchester United, Lara. Fortunately, she is a United fan as well. I hope you tolerated the friendly dig. United is on the way back up. You know, Ten Hag has instilled the process and whatnot. Mason Mount, is he good enough? Is my question. Is he good enough? 70 million. Can't he doesn't even know what's his best position. Is he a cam? Is he a midfielder? Is he a winger?
I don't know.
It's difficult.
It's difficult, yes. We'll see.
We'll see. 100%. But yeah, man, go check out Lara's socials. Links are in the description below. Again, much love for the love. Until next time, Ala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.
Thank you.